1, 2, 3, 4. Daily Diss, Daily Diss, Daily Diss with Mr. CC. Daily Diss, Daily Diss, Daily Diss with Mr. CC. He's mean, he's rad, he's so in charge. His disses are obscene and his cuss is large. You piss on him and he'll hate on you. You hate on him and he'll piss on you. Oh yeah, but Daily Diss, Daily Diss, Daily Diss with Mr. CC. Oh, Daily Diss, Daily Diss, Daily Diss with Mr. CC. Daily Diss, Daily Diss, Daily Diss with Mr. CC.
Hey yo, and welcome to another edition of the Daily Diss. I am Mr. CC, and on this edition of the Daily Diss, it's Metallica and a certain portion of the Metallica fans. And before I get into this edition, I'll have links down below to the blog post and the videos that I found on YouTube regarding this part of this edition of the show. So I was looking around at videos and searching whatever, and I came across these two videos on Metallica during a summer tour in 1994, and they were seemingly going to cover Man in the Box, Bells and Chains. Then James Hetfield starts beaking off and being a douchebag and making light of the fact that Lane Staley, who he admitted years later in an interview that he didn't know, he started beaking off and just poking fun at the fact that he had to take time off from the band, Alice in Chains, and making fun of the fact that he had a drug addiction. Well, that's seemingly hypocritical, because if you remember at the time, he had a major problem with alcohol. He was an alcoholic, and so to poke fun at someone who has this issue is totally hypocritical. You know, and basically, someone who knows about addiction should not rag on someone or beak on them for having an addiction. He's had a major addiction for years before that too. Even when Metallica was going mainstream, around the time they were trying to record their Black album, basically the band almost broke up because of the drinking and whatnot. So he should be more sympathetic, more empathetic to someone who has an addiction. But unfortunately, that is not the case. And people say that he's went to rehab and is no longer this douchebag that and prima donna that he's shown himself to be in these two videos. But I really can't get behind that, because you know, you can go to rehab all you want. That doesn't necessarily mean you're going to change. It's up to the person. Rehab is just a place where they can help you change. And if you don't really want to change for the better, then rehab is all for naught. I mean, I know someone who's been to rehab and he still acts the same way as he did before that. So, but rehab is not necessarily a place where doesn't always guarantee to work. They try to help you, but it's up to you if you want to make a change. So, and with that said, I just can't put any stock into him changing his ways of being a douchebag, you know. And James Hetfield is part of the reason why I don't like Metallica. And that's just one varying reason, but also I think they're vastly overrated. Their music is There are better thrash metal bands out there, like Megadeth. You know, Lars Ulrich, not that good. People say, oh yeah, he's very good at what he does. But hey, you can think it all you want, but nothing that he does that anybody else can't do. With a little practice, with the double kicks and some cymbal work, not in changing times, signatures, with a lot of practice, anybody can change time signatures within a song. I mean, a lot of bands do it, so it's not that innovative and difficult. Anybody with the half a wink of talent can do it. And he's a big douchebag too. So he likes. So that's another reason. Overall, the guitar work has been better, but the last 15 years especially, it's been just crap, and that goes with the music. The stuff they put out. Well, their last good 15 years have been just terrible. Saint Anger is proof that the last 15 years has been terrible. Everything before that, I can say that was better, I guess. I'm not a Metallica fan, I'm saying that with a bit of disdain, I guess, but for the most part, that was their better time. And after that, they just been like, it seems like they're just putting out albums for the sake of putting out albums. Frantic, Frantic, Saint Anger, those two songs off that album, nothing special. And overall, the band, even if they had some better musicians like Cliff Burton and whoever else, that doesn't make them better. I just never thought they were that good. And the fans, and here's the thing about the fans, they like to overrate them. They like to hype them up, saying, "Oh yeah, they're good because they have millions of fans." Yeah, like 20 years ago. Having fans doesn't necessarily mean you're good. It just means that you were able to gain. I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain per se, but just because you have millions of fans doesn't mean you're good. There are a lot of shitty artists out there that have millions of fans, and there are some really good artists out there that don't have the number of fans that some of these shitty artists do. And fortunately, Metallica is one of those artists who have the millions of fans, even if it was like 20 years ago. And another thing about the fans are that they like to jump on you and berate you if you're not a Metallica fan. Oh, it's so sacrilegious if you're not a Metallica fan. Everybody has to be a Metallica fan. You have to listen to Metallica. Oh no, if you're not, that's a no-no. And that's another thing I just can't stand that when people have to shove something down your throat. I just think let them have this natural, organic experience, and let them decide for themselves if they like Metallica or not. It's not up to you to shove it down their throat, because if you do, it'll turn someone off completely from liking Metallica. So I'm just thinking. So it's like, don't jump on them, because you don't have to be this elitist about Metallica, and the more you do it, the more you'll turn people off, and you need to realize that, and if you want to turn people off with this artist or that artist, go right ahead, and you think and you believe that people should be listening to this artist or that artist, well then let them decide for themselves. I'm not going to listen to someone who has to force something on someone. I'll say, if I want someone I'll give someone a recommendation. If they like it, good. If they don't, that's up to them. But I like the music I like, and that's not going to change. And I can give them, like I said, the recommendation, but I'll let them decide on their own if they like them or not. So, the fans overall, the fans just need to chillax a bit on this, and they need to realize that no matter how much they try to jump on people, force them onto them, it's not necessarily going to work. And some people, and then there are these fans that think, oh, I have to listen to this artist because it's cool or it's the in thing to do. No, you don't. You can make up your own mind in music and what you like in music when it comes to a band like Metallica. We're not drones. We don't have to listen to the same, have to have the same opinions in music as someone else. You know, we have the free will to think. We have a minds of to think, and if everybody has to have the same opinions on music and Metallica, it would be pretty boring. Because that's what part of makes being a fan of music so great, is that we do have these varying opinions on Metallica, and this is just one man's opinion on the subject of Metallica. So overall, the fans who shove them down our throats are just overrating the band and giving them this undeserved hype. Sure, they were an early band in the thrash metal genre, but that doesn't mean they're good. Being the first of something doesn't necessarily mean you're good, because there are better thrash metal bands out there, like I said. And so the fans need to chillax. Metallica just needs to go away eventually. Hopefully they'll go away sooner than later, because they're not putting on anything worth listening to. And just because you're a fan doesn't mean you can't admit that. So let me know what you think about Metallica in the comments section down below, and let me know what you think about all the links, what you think about what I've said in my blog, and post some comments on those videos, and tell me what you think about those videos as well, and what you think about James Hetfield being a douchebag, doing all those things, and the fans. So, like I said, leave a comment section down below, and I'll see you next time on the Daily Diss.